What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the She Said What She Said podcast. I am your host, Sherry. Good to see everyone that is a regular listener. If you are the first time, welcome. Good to have you here. It is a wonderful Wednesday here in Chicago. It was so warm today when I was running the lake. I actually took my long sleeve shirt off and was just running in a tank top. So very exciting day for me. And yes, that does make my day. That is the type of person I am. As you guys know, this podcast, we interview badass women in the sports world and beyond. And one of the things that I love about this show is getting to talk to people in different sports from different areas, things I don't know. But today ain't one of those days. Today is a Penn State track and field day. Because you know what? That's what I did. That's where I'm from. And those are the badass bitches that I know. I just break them up a little bit for you guys so you don't have a full month of Penn State track and field. But we got a lot of badasses in there. My co-host for this evening, you guys have seen her on her own show and you've seen her doing the co-hosting before, is the what was that? 2008 NCAA 400 meter champion and the 2012 London Olympic 400 meter semifinalist, Miss Shayna Cox.
Hey, Shayna. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fantastic. Enjoying a little bit of warm weather here in North Carolina myself.
I'm sure it's a little bit warmer than my 50 degrees, but don't take away those things from me.
I won't take away your literal shine.
Remember 2 weeks ago when we were in Arizona and it was in the 70s?
Yes. I was like, oh, it's hot.
And I had my little short dress on and I realized how pale my legs were because I haven't seen sun yet this year.
Listen, we're done wintering and we were ready for the sun in Arizona and we took advantage of it. I did too.
Absolutely. It was a phenomenal time. Shout out to our girl Alina, who we went to her baby shower. That's right. We flew across the country for a baby shower and a track reunion because
a mini track reunion.
Yes. So I am super excited for our guest. But first, Shayna, I wanted to give you a little bit of trivia before we get started.
Ooh, okay. Here we go.
All right, Shayna. Do you know how many times you were an All-American while at Penn State?
I don't.
Don't worry. I know.
Okay.
You were an All-American 11 times.
Okay.
You know that ties Penn State's record with one other individual?
To be fair, I knew that.
I lost you. Well, we lost her. So I will remove her till we get her back. She's frozen on my screen like. So, there she goes. Hold on. We lost you. Now I got you back.
Okay.
What did you say?
I said, I did not know that, but now I know.
Now you know. And you are tied as the most All-Americans with someone else. And that other individual is our guest today. She was, although I will say you were All-American 3 times in the relay. She had no relays. She was all.
It was all her. It was all her.
Yeah, 3 different events because indoor. Mm-hmm. So she is. Let me see if I can get the stats right because there's so many. But she was an 11-time All-American, a 2004 Olympian, and the 2010. That's right. Went from 04 to. I was about to say 010. 04 to 2010 U.S. national champion at 200 meters. Miss Consuella Moore. We are
Penn State.
Hello.
I'm so excited to see you guys and your bright and shiny faces and making me feel old for no reason, but it's okay.
Stop.
It's all right. But this is dope. I'm excited. I love that you emphasize bad bitches. Y'all know I'm all about bad bitch vibes all the time. So.
I know. I see your post on the Facebook.
Love
Yeah.
them. I love them.
Love them. Love the
Thank
shirts
you.
that you make. Love the outfits. Just all about that swag.
Y'all know I'm extra. That has not changed. That has not
You're
changed at
you're
all.
you're busy. You stay busy. You always
I
got
love it.
something going.
Well, it's since God, I hate saying retired. They really make me like, well, since I retired, I'm gonna just say once I stop running, I'm not retired. I'm still going. I'm
Mhm.
still going. But once I stopped running, it was like, okay, what do I do? And you guys know about the track life. It's like you're literally always on the go, on the go.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, I'm not running, so I'll coach a little bit. I'm done coaching. Maybe I'll coach some NFL players. Now I'm done doing that. Now I'll go and do this. And it's just like, go, go, go. But and then empowering bad bitches everywhere. That's my main mission now.
I love it. So before we get started, though, I wanted to do a little bit of show and tell for everyone. So right here we have the 2004 Penn State Women's Media Guide,
Oh wow.
and there is Miss Consuela Moore right there
With her
Hello.
Olympic
with her.
USA.
Well, that's not Olympic. This is before
That's not-
Olympics. So this
Oh.
would have been Pan Am Games,
Pan
probably.
Am's. Okay.
Yeah, Pan Am's a world. I look like a skier. Like some of the stuff they gave us in track was it's very confusing. It's like, what
It
is
does
this
kind of
outfit
look like a
really doing?
skier.
It
Yeah.
looks like I'm about to go skiing or something, or bobsledding. And
But
you
don't
all know
worry,
I feel
I
about
also
the-
have the 2007 Media Guide with Shayna Cox on there as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That picture
Don't
is
worry.
classic.
And the nice part is I'm controlling this, so I'm not showing you the crazy pictures of me that are in there.
Oh, okay. We'll
Like, don't let
find
me
them,
go
Sherry.
find. I know.
Right.
Don't let me go find my photo album because I
Girl.
do have one of you running with your
Girl.
head. Sherry's known for the headbands. If y'all don't know that, with the head, she was ready. Headbands with the braids and the cornrows. Listen, we saw
Oh
the
my
gangsters
Lord.
there all
There's
day long.
one of me in that Media Guide, Lord. And let me tell you, I'm just glad we didn't have Facebook when we were.
I know. I think about that
putting
all
out-
the time.
Can you imagine if we
Clem's
had
in the
Facebook?
house. Hi, Shayna.
Hey, Clem.
Clem has photos too, and then
I
she's
know.
taken to the grave, bitch.
No, keep them shits to yourself.
I
Keep
can't
them to
imagine though.
yourself.
Like, can you honestly imagine being a college athlete? Like the stuff that we were. I'm sorry, we were angels. We did nothing wrong. We had never had a party or anything. But can you imagine the shit that we were doing in the off season or on the side
Yeah.
that we were taking photos of? But
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
live.
The world.
There's cameras
will never know.
everywhere now. When we were in school, it was a digital camera, or no, I'm sorry, disposable cameras,
Mhm.
and that was it. So yeah, things have changed a lot. Thankfully, our fun stayed at Penn State.
It stayed there because I can
Where
stay
it
there.
should stay. The track team
Forever
at
and
Penn
always.
State was known for our theme parties. And let's just say,
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh
just-
yes.
oh my gosh.
and that's all you guys got to know. There were
That's
theme
it.
parties that were strictly enforced. And having a men's team and a corresponding women's team, you have a lot of people that can hang out. I do have one other thing for show and tell.
Let's see it.
So this is one of Connie's and mine's school records that was broken.
Wow.
So
What
they
is
give
that?
you, it's from this is because you're looking this time like that's slow. This is the indoor sprint medley relay.
Okay, sprint
So
med.
that's
Okay.
not a 4x4 time. That's that sprint medley relay, which we thought was going to last for a while, but then Brianne went ham 2 years later and they broke the national collegiate record. So
Yeah.
Oh wow. So explain to everybody what this is that you have.
yeah,
I
so
have
this
some too.
is
Thank
on
you.
our record. Of course, you have some, Connie. On the record board, these go onto there. There's a men's one and women's one. And then once your records are broken, they will give them to you. Now, I mean, when I first came in, we were breaking every relay record left and right just because Penn State had been trash. And then we got good. And so it was kind of like, make sure everyone gets one. So I have this one, which is, the thing that bothers me though, is they put a comma at the end of Brianne's name and you don't need that there.
Oh. That's
Penn
just been
State's also We're also known for being nerds, by the way. If you guys don't know, we're a party school full of nerds. It's like this is not grammatically correct
Balance.
on this. No.
We need
But
balance.
you know, Coach Johnson gave this to me when I was living in Chicago, and I literally took this on the airplane with me. That's right. I carried this on a flight
Oh my goodness.
from State College to Chicago. I was like, yep, let's go.
That's
They don't
okay.
have it. They took it down. They actually, when we went
Listen,
for the Michigan game,
yes.
They took,
Connie and I.
they
Oh,
took the board.
I
down?
don't even know if I want to tell you. It will break your heart.
it will break.
I
your
heard
heart.
I heard about the locker room.
Should we tell her?
Just
I heard
it
about
goes deeper. Yeah, just if they were in the trash.
They couldn't even
Literally.
find them.
They
They
had
didn't
to
even
look
know.
for them.
They didn't even know what we were talking about. It was like we were talking about some like ancient thing from like a long time ago, and
Sounds hot.
they were in a trash can somewhere
And you guys know how much they pay for those. Like those things were expensive. They cost like the bigger ones. I know was almost $1,000 to make a piece, and then the individuals were
Oh wow.
$600 to $800. Yeah,
Really?
they weren't. Listen, Coach Sullivan put some. That's why she stopped. That's why we can only get it at the end of the year. We couldn't keep breaking them over and over again because I would only break the 60 record by like.
This
I don't
bitch
wanna
would
get another
break
one.
and re-break her records like every other week. Like,
Yeah.
It was
record
about the
scratch.
good work, though.
I know.
That
I
is
mean,
a matter of- I wanted the hardware. That's all that mattered to me was the hardware.
right? Well, I know they redid the locker room because they used to give us bricks. So like we had like they weren't brick like tiles, and so whenever you won
Gone.
a Big Ten title, you got a brick. You got a different one for being All-American, and then you got a gold one for being an NCAA champion.
Yeah.
All
Gone.
these sentimental things.
What was the point of doing all of this?
You know,
Obviously.
because we covered the room. We took over the locker room.
Yeah.
We
They
did.
were going to expand it.
You know, I think when they first started it, the team was not good. And then we started getting very good very quickly, and that shit just took over. So
We did take over.
Well,
fun fact, I was on the very first Penn State relay to win a Big Ten title.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
That-
wow.
That DMR in 2003 indoor.
That
That
is
was
crazy.
isn't that weird to think about?
That is.
30, 30 years after pretty much
That's not
30 years
that's not
30 years
30.
after the beginning of the program, because
Yeah,
the program
it took-
started in
Although, I mean, they joined the Big Ten in 94.
Oh,
so
true.
it
Okay.
took them, so it took them
okay.
almost a full 10 years to win a relay.
Wow.
Fun fact, that is also the only DMR to ever win. No big deal.
Really?
Go ahead and dust your shoulder off one
I
time. for the one
mean,
time.
you
It's
need
okay.
Look,
to.
I
Go ahead and brush it.
have one gold medal, okay? Do you guys even know how many Big Ten medals you have? Gold, silver, and bronze? Crickets.
It's no. I just saw this stat.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
so
just
you
saw
do
it.
now.
I just saw
Throw a number at us, Connie.
I think it was like, I think 8 or 9. I don't know about silver. I don't remember those.
Okay. Oh, those are
keep
just
my
the
shows
gold.
out. I-
Those are just
I
the
don't-
gold.
I don't like those. I was very upset with those.
So 8 or 9 golds, and then silvers and bronzes just went into the trash.
They
is what
didn't
you're
go on.
saying.
My mom took them. It's like they're still hanging up on my mom's
You
wall.
gave
my
Like,
bag.
She has them pinned on her. No. My mom took them. I
Oh.
don't have my degrees. I don't have my medals.
Same.
I don't have those things. Like
same.
I've never. It's like, oh, I get to touch my degree. Thanks. I'm taking this, mom. No, you're not. I have to make a photocopy. It's like, can I? Like, and not even a photocopy of it. I couldn't take it out of the frame, right? So I had to take a picture of the degree
Oh,
and
Lord.
put a picture of a picture that I printed out at Walmart in a frame to show
Nice.
people that I had some
Nice.
semblance of an education.
Oh my
It's
god.
really bootleg. Like,
Well,
you get
mine's
close to
over
it.
there. My cat's knocked it down a few times, but that's probably why they don't want you to have yours,
Oh,
because
no.
because we're still children and our things get broken.
Yeah, no,
but
I don't
it's
have it at
still-
all.
So, Consuela, back to you, because you are the focus of this show.
I like what we're doing
And-
now. I don't have to be the focus. We could just talk about memories. It's okay.
I know, but here's the thing. I still control it, so I only show the pictures of you guys.
It's like I'm still the boss, by the way, FYI.
I am the boss of this show. But you, this is the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, and you are a Chicago native, my dear.
Yeah.
So tell everyone where you're from.
So it's funny because when I tell people I'm from Chicago, it was like, no, you're not. I said, first of all, that's rude. I am from Chi-Town. I grew up on the South Side. Although, to clarify for people, there is no such thing as the East Side of Chicago. So for those watching, that really is not a real thing. There's South Side, West Side, and North Side. East Side, you're in the lake as far as Chicagoans are.
Tell that to the people that say they're over East.
Yeah, they're over East, but they're not East Side. You know what I mean? Like,
there is no East Side.
No, it's literally the lake. Yeah, you would be in the lake.
Like you just say, "Oh, I'm from over East," which technically that's where I'm from. I went to South Shore High School. What Mighty Tars? Although now it's some academy place that people have to apply to get in. It's something completely different now.
Enrollment.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because fun fact with that is like I got inducted into the Hall of Fame at South Shore, the first inductee. Literally, next year to shut the school down. So technically, I am the one and only Hall of Famer.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they shut it down. They was like, this school is it's thing. But despite such, we had a lot of baddies come out of South Shore and do some dope things, especially in my class. 99 of us graduated, but I can say all 99 of us did some. We have real estate gurus and serious entrepreneurs that did some, like I said, it did some dope stuff across the board. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I grew up everywhere in Chicago, from Bolingbrook in the suburbs to 77th and Phillips to 78th and not 78th, 88th and Euclid. Aberdeen. I'm from the fun parts of Chicago, the part that you should go with a guide. Not alone.
Shayna's like looking like, I don't know what any of this means.
But you do, because you are in Chicago now.
I know,
Sherry.
So like,
I know
that you're there now.
I live in Buena Park, the southern part of Uptown.
See, there we go. I'm not from that side.
No, it's the north side. Just north. You can walk to Wrigley Field from where I live.
So there we go. Now we're talking Wrigley Field. But it was funny because we found out that we had a mutual friend that I ran track with in high school. Arista Slate. You all played flag football together. I was like, is that Sherry Green? I was like, how do you know her? Mohead Fohead? Sorry, Arista, if you're watching this, for me to call you that out loud on public.
Oh, Lord.
I know. That's what I call a track team. Mohead Fohead. I have nicknames for everybody. Shaner.
You did that. You did call me that.
Yeah, Shaner. I had no reason for it. Sherry, it was gangsta something.
There was you gave me a lot of nicknames.
Yeah.
Over our years.
This chick transformed, y'all. Like real life. I'm telling you, that headband would come out, the braids would go in, and she was about that life.
Remember the braids.
Yes. She got the braids.
I retired those.
I remember the
I retired them after Connie left. It was just wasn't the same without you there anymore.
Oh.
So kind of you from Chicago, from a big family, large family. You are one of
11?
No, 11.
No. So you read an article. Bless his heart. Let's just. I really hope. I appreciate you.
Are you one of 11?
I'm one of 11. I am not one of 14.
Okay. I don't know where I got that number from.
You got,
but I know you're
from the article.
Okay.
Oh, there's someone wrote an article that was like mistyped. Okay.
Like, and then he said one of 14, and she has 4 brothers and 6 sisters. I'm like, that's not even good math, bro.
He's not. The math is not mathing.
The math ain't mathing on that
the
one.
Math is not mathing. Okay, so still a large family, 11, one of 11, large family. Tell me like what that was like, because I thought I was from a large family.
You ain't. Oh. She didn't want to tell us what it's like. I think she's having a little internet. We'll let her come back.
We'll chat till she comes back. Oh,
there she is. Hey.
My whole connection is. Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear
You
me?
can't hear us.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can't hear you.
Okay. Restart. I'm going to type it in the chat. All right. I'm going to let her restart everything.
Okay.
And then we will let her come on back.
Come back. Come back to us.
Come back. Come back. We miss her.
Can't hear you. It's okay.
All right. Good.
I'll log out and then log back in.
Yep. I love it how I put that in the chat and she's like, I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. No way. Yeah.
So we'll just chat till she gets back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually didn't know that she had that many siblings. I guess that's what happens when you actually research guests before they come on.
But I do remember as I have so many. I can't wait till she comes back. I have so many Connie stories, but I do remember her telling.
I know.
I do. I do remember her saying that she was from a large family, and I would think because growing up, I was one of 4, and some people consider that to be a larger family. But so I was like, oh, she had like 6 siblings, but 11 is a lot. So I'm just curious, what that was like, where she fell in was she one of the older ones, one of the younger ones?
Well, there she is. Connie, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. I don't know what that was. My friend called and forgot about this for a second, and it took over everything.
Everything.
It was just like it shut it all down. So
got it.
Yeah, let's just leave that where that is.
Okay.
We'll put that to the side.
But I heard the question, Shayna, so I was number 7.
Number 7. And so what was that like growing up in a big family? You
want to know why I'm so competitive?
Yeah. I guess you kind of have to be.
Make it to the table, you didn't eat.
What?
It was just like, that's
a gem.
Come to the table at once. You know what I mean? It doesn't. You don't eat. What are you gonna do? You don't get a good seat. You don't get a good spot in front of the TV, right? It's just like, you gotta do what you have to do. But you know what? The best part is that you have an automatic group of best friends, right?
Yeah.
You have nothing else. You just have we're still close, all to this day. Some people's like, oh, I haven't talked to my sister in 4 or 5 years. My sister would they will cuss me clean out. Where in the hell have you been? We celebrate. We have our own personal Facebook group that we talk about amongst ourselves and just vent anything that we have. And I'm probably gonna get fussed at because I mentioned a group out loud. But we do things we celebrate, although we live in different places now, but we celebrate birthdays over Facebook rooms or Zoom. When I say we celebrate, my family, we could turn a party anywhere. And when I tell you we were lit.
Yeah, there being 11 of y'all. So
I mean, but I'm talking about just when we just had a party on Facebook rooms.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, why am I this tipsy? I'm not even with them in person. But it was just that type of vibe.
Shots.
Literally. And that's what we did. And that's our thing. As soon as we call it, someone says shots, you have to pick up, take a shot, and we'll continue to talk. What's the best part is that we can all be talking at the same time and no one really knows what the other person is talking about. And we'll just start cracking up laughing and do it all over again. So it's, you grow up with people, in the beginning we had our fights and it's I don't like this, I don't like that, or whatever. But it's now we're thick as thieves. So it's pretty dope. Yeah. It's pretty dope. Like I said, I'm gonna get yelled at for mentioning a room because there are no spouses, no boyfriends.
Allowed.
No one else allowed.
Yeah, everything goes down.
Nice. Does your mom still live in Chicago?
She does. I won't say most of my mom is there. She still stays around the corner from high school I went to, and my sister's out in Kankakee, and my youngest brother is there. But then I have family just from there that just kind of lives all over. So we all kind of made our route back. But we usually get together at least for the 4th of July, if not for Thanksgiving. We do our Thanksgiving the weekend before Thanksgiving because everybody can get off work a lot easier that week. Although I told them I made up a rule, I don't come back to Chicago until it's warm.
Yeah.
So no, but all in all, like I said, we're all over the place, but my mom is still there though, for the most part.
Well, the good news is I am always in Chicago for 4th of July. So if I don't get an invite, I'll be pissed.
Listen,
Sherry wants to come to the barbecue.
I
want to come.
Listen, it goes down there too. We did the extra long slip and slide. I'm talking about the long one.
Yeah.
The game. Oh God, I'm telling on myself so much right now.
I can see this happening.
It went bad. So this is what happens when you're on Facebook and TikTok too much, because you get ideas from other stupid shit that people did on Facebook and TikTok.
Yeah.
So they played that game. You take a shot, and then you run and you slide on the slip and slide.
Oh. I see that going very interestingly.
Many ways that can go down.
That's what I chose to do with my track skills afterwards.
Hell yeah, I bet you're the fastest one on there.
Putting them to good use.
Yeah. So so that's what we do at 4th of July, just to give you a heads up so you're ready. That's what we do. That's how we get down with that.
Perfect. I got a bikini for it. Let's go. Shayna, just jump on the plane, ditch the kids.
I know, right?
Let's go.
Well, listen, if I could, I'd be out there with you guys hanging out, because it sounds like I would have a good time. Shots and slip and slide.
Right? I love the way this is going. I love it.
Bad for your kid. I'm really getting in trouble for this.
You are going to get in trouble. So speaking of your childhood, when did you realize, or kind of like have that realization that you're fast as shit?
Well, me racing my brother, right? I raced him all the time. Him and one of my cousins, and I was determined one day I'm going to beat him. One day. And we were coming from my aunt's house and crossing over. I was about to say I-4. I've been in Orlando too long. Crossing over to 94, going over, and I was like, I want to race. And that day was finally the first day that I finally beat him. So
how old were you?
I had an inkling. I was probably about 9.
Oh wow. Okay.
And he has about 4 years on me, so he was 13. I was proud of that moment. He's like, I want to race again. He has never beat me since. Yes, Mark, I said it. I called you out there. You didn't beat me. You never beat me again after that. So
wow.
But I didn't want to run track though when I got to South Shore. No, Jack.
What did you want to do?
I want to play basketball.
Okay.
Right, like you didn't go. I didn't do the AAU and travel and that stuff. It's like all I did was play street ball with the boys. So when I got to South Shore, I wanted to play ball, but my high school coach insisted on following me. Like he saw me racing kids and some boys in a gym class. And of course I won naturally, being competitive, but he saw it happen. So he recruited me every day for a week in lunch. Like he came, you want to sign for the girls track team? I said, no. You want to sign up girl? No. Do you want to sign up girls? I was like, oh my God, if I come, would you leave me alone? So, but I was tricked because I didn't know about the cross country rule.
That's not a rule.
Too.
Oh, your school made you do that? Ooh.
Yes. That was terrible.
I got out of that.
I did it one year, then I got out of it. I was like, yeah, no, this is
not for me.
Not for me.
Not for me.
Hey, boy, did you hear it? They didn't do it. I had to do it though.
Well, so okay, I met the Connie Moore. That's the person I met. The Connie Moore. You were my host on my recruiting trip. Literally sealed the deal. Best host I've ever had. But so I don't know high school Connie Moore. So I am really interested in what I'm really interested in what like your experience was kind of the last couple years of high school transit, and then like talk to me about like recruiting trips. Did you look at other schools? Because you are Penn State track and field. So did you look at like other schools? Like what was that like? Did you always know you wanted to run in college?
Yeah, how the hell did you end up in Happy Valley?
At Penn State, of all places.
I'm gonna tell you,
there's a lot of stops before Penn State.
Yeah,
it was a lot of stops. I'm gonna tell you how I ended up at Penn State, but the truth be told, coming out of high school, I didn't know about NCAA recruiting and the rules and the clearinghouse. Like it was all weird.
Mhm.
So my first competition outside of the state was Junior Olympic Nationals in Seattle, Washington. It was actually my first time ever getting on an airplane.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was a junior in high school at this point, and going away from, I was so excited and stoked. But after, I thought I was pissed after the girls 100, because I thought I did terrible. I thought I was ass last, and Nate was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I lost." It was like, "Well, you didn't win, but you got second." I'm like, "There's no way I got second. I was in the back, like in the back. Like I probably ran like a 12.6. I was in the back. There was like, no, you actually ran like 11.8, and you came from the back, and you almost won." But I had this whole attitude. But here's this random guy standing behind me talking to my coach, and my coach turned around and was like, "Connie, I want to introduce you." And then this dude, and I already have an attitude, he's like, "No." I was like, "I don't want to meet your ass either, bro."
Oh.
Like, you shaking me off and you trying to introduce, like, I don't care. And he's looking at me like, this child.
It's the rules.
He turns to the coach like, "I can't talk to her right now. Like, it's against the rules." So my high school coach at the time didn't really even understand the rules of it all. So, but I didn't know. So I was like, "Oh, then why are you here if you can't talk to me?" But that's how uneducated I was about that process in the first place. So when I got my first phone call, which came from, and I'm very proud of this because it came hard, but it came from the University of Florida, from Coach Tom Jones, who, may he rest in peace.
Nice. Yeah.
First conversation with him was like, "How did you get my phone number?" Because they don't have the system now. I'm like, you had to literally stalk an athlete then to get in touch with them, right? Like, you could.
True. If you didn't fill out a recruiting questionnaire,
they didn't. Yeah, because they would send it to your school or something like that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
But
you have to be stalked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did have to stalk people.
So here you go. You call on my phone looking for me. What do you want? How do you know
my number?
and all I was at the time, I was getting letters from smaller schools in the state of Illinois. Not saying it's a bad place. Like, a scholarship is a scholarship. A college is a college. It matters what happens after that, what you do with that knowledge. But again, I was like, I was happy to go to a school, but then I got a call from Texas, and I got a call from Penn State and Nebraska. And let me tell you something. So how I ended up in Happy Valley, the legendary Carol Gilbert Smith herself.
Awesome coach. Amazing.
Like,
coach.
Let me tell you something. When I tell you I was at war with her when she left Penn State, I came home one day and my parents are like flipping through my letter of intent to try to see. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing? What's happening?" And it was like, "We have to tell you something."
Oh, so wait. Okay, let's back up. You signed a letter of intent, and then you found out later on that the coach that recruited you was no longer going to be there.
Yeah. I was hurt and heartbroken. And because, she was awesome. She gave you the handwritten letters. Yeah. She went to Janet Jackson concerts. Her hair was laid, fried, not off to the side.
It was laid.
Like, she had all of the bad bitch vibes that it was just like, she's probably, outside of like, my mother and my sister, one of the first women I met that really just owned her shit. And it shows still even to this day. She goes,
absolutely.
She leaves her mark where she goes. Like,
literally. Yep.
Period. Like, just, so when I tell people that, it's like, "Oh, okay, well, that makes sense." So, but that's how I ended up in Happy Valley. So the whole process in between then, I didn't know. I didn't write letters. I didn't send videos. I was just like, I only took 2 visits. So kids, if you're watching this, you're being recruited, please take all 5. Not that I'm not happy with Penn State. Take them all. Take them all.
Yep.
Shayna, did you take all 5?
Oh, okay. Can I just tell you like a brief story?
What had happened was
I did my first visit to Maryland, verbally committed there because it was my first time to college. I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah, sure. I'll go here.
Then I went to Miami. I went to South Carolina. Then I went to Penn State, where Connie was my host. And Connie was an amazing host. Like, literally sold me on Penn State. Remember when I came, I had just had
That's right.
surgery.
You just had your wisdom teeth out.
I was on
something.
Vicodin.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on. I was drooling because my mouth was still numb. I was just like really in a bad way. But I had like an amazing. After that, I had Texas, and I canceled my Texas trip. And I was like, like after Penn State, I was like, I'm sold. I know where I'm going to school.
Connie.
Like you guys, between Connie, Sherry, everybody did such an amazing job. Like, but Connie was so passionate about like Penn State and about being there. And I remember when I came, I just wanted to be like you. I wanted to do everything that you did, Connie. I wanted to warm up with you. I wanted to do the drills that you were doing when you did them. Like, I was like, I just want to be, if I can just be a little bit like as good as Connie. I don't even have to be as good. I just want to be like, if I could just like touch her robe.
You are so, oh God,
touch her robe.
I
like, hopefully something will rub off of me. That was like my mentality. Cause I was like, I recognized that how like amazing of an athlete you were, but you were super focused on what you wanted, on your goals. You weren't there to just have fun and have a good time. Like, you had goals. And you were going to work hard. And I was like, I want to be like that. Like, that's what I want to be. So I patterned, everything I did after that was patterned after you.
Literally down to the All-Americans. Although you went on and got the nationals, well, twice, right? Because y'all won nationals in 4x4.
4x4 and the 4, yep.
And the open 4. So that was just like, what? Somebody asked me, it was like, how do you feel that she came to first? I was like, that's an honor, man. I was like, you can't. It's like I can't feel any type of way, because even when school records were broken, if any of my school records were broken, it was like, how do you feel? It was like, great, because that's the
they weren't broken by me, so those were some good records. They weren't broken by me.
Well, one was broken. Siobhan Graves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Greaves. I want to say her name correctly because she was awesome. She broke my 60 record, and I remember her telling me, she was like, I'm coming after the 200. I said, good luck.
Okay.
Can we talk about the freak show? Yeah, that's what I said to her. Good luck. But can we talk about the freak show? They ran 22.09 indoors.
On the inside.
Just for 2 seconds.
On the inside.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like, I don't know if people really understand how fast that is. Inside.
And what was the old American record?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But that is the fastest an American has ever ran around
indoor
track.
That is,
I mean,
unfathomable.
Just crazy. SEC's was such a great meet.
SEC's was, I'm like, what the hell?
National.
What, that track has got to be, is that a new track or something? Because those times were just
where was it at?
I think Texas A&M or something.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't in Arkansas. It was somewhere
it's
different.
Popular track now.
Yeah, I can see.
Now.
And that's the thing too. Like, back in the day, Penn State's track was one of the best in the country because we were one of the first to have a banked hydraulic track, like the Mondo surface.
That's also why I signed, by the way.
Oh yeah,
that's also the reason why I signed.
Same Z. But like now. All of these other tracks they're like learning from ours, and they're making like the surface is giving even more give back, like more bounce back. All this technology, the spikes. Connie, when you had posted that picture of you from college with all the awards, and I'm going to find that, those old ass spikes that we used to wear, and like the ones they have now, all these little things are just adding into those little hundreds and hundreds of seconds.
Yeah.
The technology they have for training, it's wild.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
And it's so exciting.
It is.
It's exciting because I do remember getting to a point where I was like, can anything like, is anything going to like be exciting in track again?
Right.
You know? And now I'm just like seeing all of these times and just, it's just been great. It's been a fun time for track.
It has been, but that's the inspiring part, right? So when people look back, it's like, oh, how do you feel that all these things happen? Well, it happened because we happened, and we happened because they happened, and this trend just it continues. So when you have the amazing Sherry Greens and Shayna Cox and Siobhan Greaves and so forth and so on, it's like, well, all I can do is just beam. Right? Because that was the purpose. Penn State didn't have a chair. You said it. I laughed hard. You said, well, they sucked before. They were not a sprint program before we got there at all. Like, that's not what it was known for. So
I'm
like,
curious when you said that, Sherry, like
Hold
how
on. Can we just look at
that's a classic picture right there. Oh my god.
Look at those spikes though.
Wow.
So yeah,
They were
put
clunky.
those spikes on now and try to run a 22.09.
Wearing spikes like that is like weight training.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they
I
do
can
for
just like
resistance training.
feel the weight of that spike.
Oh my goodness.
Those suckers were thick.
I fucking love
and
this
heavy.
picture though.
And the straps. Oh my gosh. Just that's
Sheena,
much.
what were you saying?
Sorry. What was I saying?
Something about I said something.
I was gonna ask, yeah, because you did say like when you first got there, like the team kind of sucked. What, like, tell me about like when you guys were there from the when you were freshmen to when you left, that transition. Like, I know you were a different athlete, but I know I was a different athlete. But tell me like how about that, your little transformation, and the team's transformation, really.
Connie, I'll let you do that one because y'all were like 8th and 9th when I was a junior and senior in high school.
in high school.
And I know I only scored one individual point at Big Ten, so it wasn't me. That was a transformation.
It was the mission of the program overall changed, right? Like we had to, we brought in a different coach.
Yep, a new coach, Jeff.
Yep, yep. We and the mindset that he even had was like
just different.
Shit's gonna change, right?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna change. Like and he wasn't afraid to go after Shayna, or because matter of fact, we recruited Shayna and Natasha Hastings, Ashley Brown, Lena. Like this was to the point of that we were accused of cheating.
Yeah,
like,
really.
That's how impressive of a class that we brought in.
What do you mean?
We brought you in. We brought you.
It was rated the number 4 recruiting class in
4 or 3. It was top
3 or 4. Yeah, it was one of their
Yeah.
top recruiting class, and from a team that hadn't been good, people thought that we were like bribing you.
Yeah,
Really?
we were
Never
brought
knew
to
that.
the NCAA office and everything. It was
Really?
like, but we just went after it hard.
Yeah.
And what's crazy though is that taught you lesson later on in life. Like if you want the best, there's the only way to do is go after it.
Go get
Right.
it.
Period. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we did. So you want to know what changed? It was that mindset that changed. It's like, this is what we're going to do. This is what's going to happen. And then it hyped me up because it's like, now we have this amazing class of athletes coming in. Not that I didn't have amazing people to train with, but even from that, we went on and won the first Big Ten title in history at the time in 2003. I remember we got the ring. Sorry, Coach Sullivan, if you were watching this, because she does follow me on Facebook. But we saw those rings. We were like, did you see South Carolina's ring? Like,
Oh, yeah.
or did you see, like, this looks like my high school class ring.
The football guys' rings, like, oh,
Like they look like Super Bowl rings. And we're like,
ours look like a high school class ring.
yeah. It was like, this is cool.
It's sweet.
Cute.
Like, that was dainty.
It was very cute.
Just so you guys know, I'm getting another one made, and it's going to like a Super Bowl ring. They're
Okay,
like,
let me know like where you're getting that done.
I don't know. Somebody's gonna do it because I
Okay.
was just like, and I lost it. So, but
no.
but in short, but that's where I lost a lot of stuff. But that's how it changed. It was just a mindset change to go after the best. And once that came in, once you start bringing in Shayna Cox and Sherry Green, like they're like, wait, what's happening? You know, because my trips to nationals, it was me and Chi Chi.
Lonely.
Yes.
And Toyin. Like,
yes,
you know,
yes.
So first it was me and Toyin, like we were going, and then Chi Chi came along. So now it was me and Chi Chi, and then we finally made it to nationals in a 4x1. That was a fun experience. Yep. But then it took over. I mean, like I said, you guys came in and
spread like wildfire.
It did. Yeah, it did kind of just spread like wildfire. So Connie, my girlfriend Snacks and I were talking about this. Shayna, you weren't there yet. 2003 NCAA's outdoor, the athlete party afterwards. Do you not think about that party and the little fights and everything? Or how about when you hear the song From the Window to the Wall?
You're
That is-
there
Listen.
again.
That's all I'm saying about that night.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. I work with a group of athletes now. I work with severely ill and injured airmen with the Air Force. Nonetheless, probably the most amazing group of people that I've ever had the pleasure of really working with. But when I tell you I'm going to get some questions after this.
Really?
So, Coach, oh my gosh. They were like, so tell us what happened at that 2003 outdoor.
Inquiring
track.
minds.
Yeah, we want to know. And I'm here to tell you, mind your business. Mind your business.
I will say though, whenever I hear From the Window to the Wall, I just have a little flashbacks, and I have flashbacks of like this one triple jumper that was hitting on me. Not my buddy Mark. No, hey Mark, that's my. No, there's this other guy from random at school that like wouldn't leave me alone. Was like following me around, and this, we're not talking anymore about that.
Listen,
evening.
those after parties from the meets were always very interesting.
They were something. They were definitely something. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna just text some random people that I know. Some names, some head beaters, some folks that shook up the world that was at those parties and showed up. I'm like, do you remember when? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a good time.
I want to go back.
I know. Just I don't want to do like the early morning workouts or any of the work.
No.
Can we do the easy days? Run. No, let's do the easy days, like the Wednesdays. Yes.
Wednesday workouts.
Can we do the Wednesday workouts?
Wait, do you guys remember 60 meters of pain?
50 meters of pain.
50 meters of pain.
Yeah, do not give us extra 10.
I'm like, don't add that to it. But what's crazy, when I train people, I still had that workout.
Oh, you
really?
I gave it to people.
I have no idea what the workout was, but I just know that it was very painful.
It was torture.
It was very, very painful. And I didn't understand how my body could hurt in the ways that it hurt after I did that workout. It was bad.
Your body's not supposed to do that. It's just not supposed to. Like, I think I pulled an ab muscle one time from doing that workout.
Really?
Like, yeah, because I had to add a weighted vest after a certain point in time. Because remember, once you got to a point that you graduated, you earned a weighted vest. That's what you earned for doing
I had never graduated, so.
No, well, that was horrible.
And Connie's ass is so competitive. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to graduate."
Yeah.
Don't graduate. You don't want to do it.
Don't
Slow
do
down.
it. Get left back.
She's like, "No, I'm winning this."
It was a lot of lunges and a lot of abs.
Yeah, it was
dang,
a good time.
Pull the ab muscle. Good Lord.
And do you remember, so with Coach Jeff, we would have Friday plyo days. Do you remember the first day he told us to take our shoes off? We went to the sand pits and we thought for a minute that would be fun.
Oh, and it most certainly was not.
Spoiler alert, plyos in sand is not fun. Now, Kristen Clemson, I actually love doing stadiums.
No, I hate it around the world.
I love running stairs. That's why I do Spartan stadiums. Everyone else's face. There was one person that enjoyed stadiums. It was me.
That was you.
They were like, "Sure, just go." I was like, "Yay!"
Like exactly what around the world. It was like the fact that this man let us in this stadium was the worst idea on the planet. First, we were so excited, like it was like that in the pool workout. So we're going to the pool, we're going to the stadium, and it was like
we're going in the sand.
It's not fun. It made you hate wherever you were, whatever the new venue was. It's like, let's just get back to the track. I know the track.
Take us out to some hills sometime, and like some sprawling, rolling hills, and randomly that wasn't fun.
Whatever places you can go and be tortured is what we did. Or
Clem said she walked out one day and literally asked the car to hit us. That's a thrower response right there.
But that should have been all of our responses. We boycotted enough, then it's like, what can really happen at the end of the day? Like
Gosh.
it was like that shit was terrible, man. Like,
But sorry.
No, you know what?
I was gonna say our sport is mostly about suffering, or who can endure suffering the most. Like that is what a track is about.
Our sport is other sports punishment. Like their punishment is to run sprints. That's like just what we do. We're doing today. We're doing some sprints. Yay!
But no, they don't care. They don't get it. So the athletes that I did train, so they didn't know. It's like, I don't even like giving you this workout. I don't want to give this to you because I know what you're like. Literally, I know what your body's about to be pushed through. I know what's about to happen. You're going to hate me. One of the athletes that I trained with Air Force, he said in one of the training camps, he said, with all due respect, I said, let's go. It's time to get to the line. There's no air down there. Get up. Let's go to the line. He walked past me and said, with all due respect, fuck you. And he meant it with every ounce of his being, but then he walked to the line and he kept running.
Okay, good for him.
There it is.
Good for him.
I love
he
that.
Still did it.
There's no air down there. Oh, yeah, that's from bending over. That is the oldest coach's phrase out there. There's no air down there. You know what? There is enough air.
There's enough. I'm gonna find it.
There was one time, I don't know, Connie, if you remember this. We had a really hard workout with Coach Jeff, and he said something to me like, something about getting better, and I was like, I don't want to be better.
I remember that. I do remember that.
He was like, well, now what do I say? I just hit it was like probably repeat 500s with 300s or something, and I was just like, I don't want to be any better.
You don't want to. Connie doesn't want to relive it.
This is good.
She doesn't want to relive
it. Can we just go back to talking about when we went to like Mad Max or all that crazy stuff? Like I
think Mad Max is closing.
Not around anymore.
It is closed.
It's closed. Yeah,
very sad.
There's like nothing.
The margaritas.
The diner isn't there anymore. I don't think.
There
was a diner.
This diner with the Cinnabons.
Shana, you know the diner.
Was it called the diner?
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
I think it was called the diner. It was just on the main strip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was open like 24 hours or till 4 a.m. or something.
Oh, wow.
You get the little
It might as well.
Listen, when I seen a Target in State College, I was like,
things had changed. We ain't have no Target.
Yeah,
we sure did.
Target.
No, we had a Walmart.
We did.
Sure. And a Red Lobster. So that was
loved the Red Lobster and an Outback.
Yes, next to the Holiday Inn. Absolutely.
That's what we did. Oh, the warm and fuzzies. Go back.
So Consuela, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Throughout your career at Penn State Track and Field, what would you call your one shining moment? Like, what moment do you go back to as like your happy place?
I'm kind of curious what you think it is.
Well, I'm going to let you answer first.
Oh man, I guess that's the fair thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if my shining moment, a lot of people didn't watch it. It was when I first broke 23 seconds in the 200 meters, because it happened unexpectedly. My season sucked up until that point, in my opinion. Like I thought it was absolute trash. I got my ass handed to me indoors. I got my ass handed to me at Big Tens. But at regionals, this is the first year they did regionals.
Mm-hmm.
But at regionals, it was the prelims, and then Coach Jeff yelled, like, back off, slow, like, you don't have to run. I said, oh, okay. And I backed off when I crossed the finish line. Foxy, I don't know, everybody has to remember Foxy.
Yeah,
of course.
My bestie from college. She's like, Con, you did it. You ran 22 seconds. It was like, there's no way. I freaking walked across the finish line. And she's like, you did. And I looked, it was literally 22.99.
Oh, wow.
Seconds. I was like, oh, well, maybe the season won't be so bad after all. And then went on, won regionals, and ran 22.6, and the rest. I was like, maybe I'll stick around the sport for a little while longer.
Wow.
But that for me just let me know, it was like, okay, it may be life after this, because I remember thinking like, oh God, I can't wait till my senior year and I can go back to living.
Yeah.
And not like training all the time. So that was probably one of the bigger personal highlights for me.
Okay.
What did you think it was?
That wasn't mine. Mine was your senior year NCAA indoors in the 200.
Oh yeah,
That is a big one. That was a big one.
I believe you got third overall and you won the first heat and you ran a huge PR. I remember seeing the video of it. Your face was like when you saw the time, it was
it
just
an NCAA record?
It lasted for 22
until the next heat
seconds.
Yeah.
Yes, 22 point. Yep.
Sonia and Veronica Campbell, Sonia Richards-Ross and Veronica Campbell ran in the second heat.
Oh, wow.
So when I did it, the leading up to that was even funnier. So I got in so much trouble. I don't know what I was thinking in the prelims. Like I was in the blocks and the gun went off and I was like, oh shit, the gun.
Yeah.
And took off. I was like, I gotta go. Like technique was probably like trash. I'm so sure. And then I remember Coach Jeff was like, that's not funny. I was like, it's kind of hilarious. So like he was like, nah, he's like, you don't know what lane you're gonna get. I said, dude, I made it to the finals. Like, let's just celebrate the fact that I made it to the finals because I couldn't have. So when I got to the finals, it was actually a decent. That other heat was pretty decent too, because it was me, Lauren Williams, somebody from South Carolina, somebody else. But we stepped out and it's like, hey, let's go for broke. Forget it. And I think Stephanie Durst was in that heat. Me, Lauren, Stephanie Durst. Like it was a fire heat. Like
fire in a heat. B heat. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a B heat, right? So
right
when I made it and I was just like, how long is this gonna hold? It was like, that's the like they named all the things. Fastest time in the world, NCAA record, da 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 da. I'm like, and then those, I love you, Sonia. I did not appreciate you that day at all, but that was a highlight. Just as quickly as it came, it left. But you know, that was pretty dope. And then probably one other highlight was when anytime, I know her name has been a little shamed, a little different, but anytime you could step on a line next to Marion Jones.
Ooh. You've run against me. I imagine that was, I would feel intimidated.
I was. Coach Sullivan, let me tell you, see, people don't know this about Coach Sullivan. So now I'm hoping she's watching because I want to tell people how petty she can be sometimes. So she announced in the, you know, like our team meetings, and we'll talk about what heats we're in and what races we're running. So she's going all the way through and doing all these things. And I'm like, okay, so why did she skip over? She named other people in 200, but she didn't call out my name. And I was like, what the hell just happened? And this was after, obviously, NCAA indoors. And she said,
"Is that USA's?"
No, this was at Mount Sac.
Mount Sac. Okay. Yeah, Mount Sac.
Okay.
This was at Mount Sac.
Okay.
And she said, and she's like, and for the 200 meter, whatever they call it, invitational section, whatever. That's how you know I haven't ran in a long time because I forget what that crap is called. That's what it's called. And she named off the lanes, and I think I was in like lane 4 or 5. I was like, how the hell did I end up in the middle lane of this heat? Because I was in a heat not just with Marion. Christy Gaines, Tori Edwards, Ingrid Miller, Rochelle Boone. Like it was it was
loaded.
Stacked.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. That's a final of
because you ran 22:49 indoors. That's how you ended up there.
It was just like I was like, what is supposed to happen? And I was right next to Marion, and she thought that was hilarious. Like,
really?
Yeah, she was petty, man. A lot of people don't know that. Like, she carries on her fancy stuff, but she was petty on the low. Very professional, but that's how she pushed us.
Yeah,
low key. And I was like, I don't know what's about to happen in this. I don't know how I end up in this heat. I should be with the other collegians. I shouldn't be like, this is no. I'm like, that was insane. But you know, one of the things Coach Jeff said right before that race, he's like, I'll put your last 100 meters against anybody in the world. And I'm like, you know something I don't, because I'm gonna just take your word for it, boss. But when we came out the curve, and first she did exactly what I thought she was gonna eat my ass up in the curve. That was expected. And but then coming out of the turn, I felt myself gaining. I was like, and we lined up. I was like, are you gonna speed up a little bit? No? Great. So I'm gonna just go and cross the finish line. And the stadium, there was no noise. Like,
quiet.
And then they cheered. It was like
huge upset
because she never lost the 200 meters outside.
Yeah, I remember
until the day.
I remember refreshing my computer, looking at the results of that meet, or like waiting for the results from that meet. And I remember seeing like that you were in a heat wearing dress. I was like, no, that can't be right. I was like, that can't be right. That's not right. But you were, and you won.
Yeah, let me tell you who was hyped after that. And I think it was great because people were pissed because that's when we officially announced. She announced that she was signing to Penn State was Gail Hunter.
Oh,
so Gail had,
yes.
so she was there. And so she had this fancy shirt spray painted with Penn State on it. And that's how she was going to announce because Illinois was there and Penn State was there. So that's how she announced she was coming to Penn State.
Wow.
And she was in the stands. And like, I think she was more hyped than I was. She's like, dude, do you know what you just did? And I was like, I think so. The funniest part about that, though, is that I thought I was big shit, so I wouldn't have to run a 4x4.
Oh.
No, I was going to say, and then we ran the 4x4.
Yeah, I thought I didn't have to run. Like,
you sure,
like,
you sure
I'm not
did
running 4x4.
Run. And I think we won. At least we won our section.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of the, I think it was the Michigan coach, tried to get me disqualified because I was running the second leg. And they said, he tried to say I was too aggressive on the cut-in. And they were like, no, the other girl, she just didn't move in. So I just went the fuck around her. Like, because like if someone's still, she was like trying to like just run in lane 3, just keep running straight. And it's like, well, blah, blah, blah.
Do what you got to do.
She might have even gotten spiked by me, but the judges were like, no, you weren't, like, you were almost impeding on me.
Yeah.
So
wow.
So yeah, we won the 4x4 at that, at least our section, but I do remember we won.
Yeah.
But yeah, they tried to get me disqualified. I was like, nope. And of course it was the Michigan coach. They obviously didn't like me because I'm from there. So, you know, whatever.
You were probably supposed to be wearing Michigan colors. They
didn't recruit me. So
really?
No. So my high school coach and the Michigan coach did not get along at all. So none of us got recruited. So like Candace Davis, she didn't get recruited. None of us. Mm-mm.
Oh,
nope,
wow.
Nope. Just no one had ever really gone in the Big Ten.
That's
interesting. People went to other conferences.
Yeah.
So So, post Penn State, then after you graduated in 2004, you did another very big thing that summer. You took a little trip overseas to Athens, Greece.
That was
no big deal.
Because the way I found out it wasn't a big deal. Right.
How'd you find out?
With this story, exactly right. So the 200 meters, unfortunately, one of the competitors tested positive, and everyone knew this was about to happen, right? Mm-hmm. But she decided to run anyway. She tested positive. So I was fourth, and I'm like, well, I'm not going. Like, who takes fourth place 200 meter runner, right? Like, you take fourth place 100 because relay purposes, 400 relay purposes. 200, it's like, we're kind of like the forgotten sprinter sometimes, unless you're Allison Felix. But aside from that, so it's just like I was upset, but you still had to go through processing and all. I'm like, this is torture, right? Like, people want to know, like, you want to know what hell is like. Finish fourth at the Olympic trials, like that is. I might as well finish last. And some people's like, well, you were there. I was like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
trust. So I'm on my way back to wherever I was living. Maybe it was Chicago because I think I left Penn State at that point. And my mom called me, and she's like, "Oh, my baby, congratulations!" I'm like, "On what?" She's like, "You made the team." I said, "You were there, literally. You were there." No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Okay, Mom, you're not accepting this, that I have to accept it, so you have to accept it too. But then my agent called me, and he left a voicemail because I didn't want to talk to him. I'm like, I don't want to hear about this stuff. But when he told me, he's like, when you pack for Europe, you're not coming back because you were named to the Olympic team. I was like, so I'm on the airplane like, no one to hug. It's like no one to celebrate with. But it was, it was cool, and it was something for a while that at first I was like, oh, but it's just a relay, and and I'm like, whatever. And then I had to really do the pullback of all the people who tried out, all the people who tried to make it to Olympic trials, right? Then the people who made it to Olympic trials, and then all of the, the things. I was like, I said, you're a part of the rare crew.
Yeah.
I was like, so you have to accept this and celebrate, and celebrate this moment and appreciate it for what, appreciate it for what it is. And, I did. I think it all became real at opening ceremonies. Not even when you got all the swag. When I say they give you stuff upon to the point, and maybe someone at the USOPC can answer this question, because you give us so much stuff that we literally have to send stuff back home from where we pick up swag at.
Yeah, it's so much. It's so much stuff.
Right. It's so much.
It's like 5 of everything.
Yeah. Like, how many rollies do I need? Like, you got rollies. Of course, you got your USA rollie, right? With all your USA stuff. Then, like, Polo sends you a rollie. And then some other company, you have a rollie with all this. I'm like, so they literally give you a UPS shipping label in a box.
Like, send back what you don't, what you can't take.
Now you can send back the stuff that you don't have to take with you and just leave it at that. So, but it all became very real at opening ceremonies. And I remember Hazel Clark telling me that she was like, hey. And,
hey, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
But I remember Hazel she wasn't going. And I was like, really? She was like, no, sis, I've seen it before. I was like, I couldn't wait. I was all buttoned up and ready to go. And me, Muna, and LaShante Moore we were peas of a pod and just.
Oh, you're naming some good names there.
Man, that is taking me back, like Mona Lee. Oh, yeah. Man, that is.
Yeah, it was legendary, right?
Goats, like, legendary, all legendary
runners. Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's crazy. So, and that was a squad. So when I think about my suite at in Olympic Village, it was me, Hazel Clark, Michelle Perry, Joanna Hayes, Allison, someone else. Me and Hazel were roommates. Joanna, Michelle, Allison, and somebody. But it was crazy. Like, so it was like the whole experience itself was pretty.
Now, do they assign you roommates? How does that work?
We picked.
Oh, you picked.
We got to pick, like, throwback. You got to, but you think about it, right? An event like that, you really want to be stuck in a room with somebody that you just don't like, and tension is gonna rise. You know what I mean?
No, but then it's also like you don't necessarily want a room with someone that's doing the same event as you. Because that could be a little bit intense. Like, oh, good, we both made the finals. Yeah. Sleep well, bitch.
That is very intense.
Sleep with one eye open. Did you have to have a room with Christine?
Shana? Me? I feel like for the most part, Christine usually had her own room. I think one time I had I roomed with her. One time I did, but she was also my training partner.
That makes it different.
For a lot of the time, but yeah, so once I did room with her.
No, that's true. That's true.
Super, just really chill, quiet to herself.
I love
a goon roommate to have.
Oh yeah, when you guys came
so much fun. That was like the best. I remember where we stayed. Like, it was a great. That was always a good trip. Our warm weather training. So Sherry, we used to do. So I ran for Great Britain. It's cold there, so they would take us once or twice a year. They would take us to warm weather training for how long were we there for? 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something like that. And it was usually for our this is spring. So it's our spring cold weather training, warm weather training. We would go to Orlando. We would train at Disney. And I would see Connie there all the time, just looking busy. And it was fun. It was good. We had a good time. That's how I got to keep in contact with Connie.
I didn't know that. And she went to go grab her charger.
All right.
And it's a good thing to have when your battery is draining with video.
Yeah, I had to check my battery before I started. I was like, it would be super embarrassing if I just like.
One time I did this without my laptop plugged in, and it gave me a little low bat. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't realize it was unplugged. I didn't know they took you guys to Florida for.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, shouldn't the Great Britain team be training in Great Britain?
Yeah, but I mean, it's cold there. You know, you think about there's a lot of.
I mean, you could go to like Spain or something a little closer.
They some people did do Spain,
Okay.
and then they did in the wintertime. The warm weather training camp was in South Africa, which was hot. I mean, like I came back from South Africa, and my hair, I had to cut all my hair off because my hair got sunburned. Like it was like someone boiled my hair. But yeah, we had really good experiences. But that's how I kept in contact with Connie. I would see her like once a year. And then I saw her when we were in Penn State a couple years ago. So
yeah,
I have power back.
Love it. Love it.
But I can hear everything. But yes, those were fun times. I was like, Shayna. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, people thought I was crazy because I would literally like, you know, I would stand for Connie.
Hell yeah. Who doesn't? I mean, honestly, Consuela, you have a fan club. It's fine. It's like, like I was telling Shayna, like, you know, this is maybe episode number 16 of the podcast. So obviously Shayna was one of the first people that I asked, and she can't really tell me no. Like it would lead to awkward events. Like, no, I don't want to do it. All right, well, I'll see you in 2 months, bitch. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow, though. Okay, bye.
Okay, yeah, nice. But yeah, I was like, well, I'm gonna ask Connie. I was like, well, I'm gonna wait till I get a little more episodes in me, you know, get a little better because I, you know, it's because Consuela more. Like, I don't want her to reject me. And then you messaged me, and I was like, just ask me about my.
Now's my time.
Now's my time.
But you know, but that's what I'm saying though. Is just that I'm all about when women empowerment is my jam. Like that's what I'm all about, seeing like chicks elevate. Period. Point blank. So when I see dope bitches doing dope shit, I want to know what it is that I was like, what is that? Like, she said what she said. It's funny because when I read it, I was like, that is something she would say. I said what I said. She said what she said.
She said what she said. It's a great name. I did come
up with a name. Thank you. Yeah, it was a brainstorm with some folks, but that one was mine. I said what I said.
Yeah. And it was great, and it's fitting. So I did reach out. I'm like, man, this is pretty. I was like, this is pretty dope, and caught her from a couple episodes, and then she's like, well, speaking of which, I was like, okay,
yeah,
it works.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, oh boy, I don't even have to send out would you be? I have a podcast. It's called this. She's like, I already know. I'm like, yes. So let's talk though a little bit, because you, between 2004 and almost did it again. Not 2000. I almost said 04 to 010 again.
010.
Yep, I can't say. Okay, between 2004 and 2010, you left the sport for a little bit. Tell us about that.
The leaving of the sport. I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't in a good space mentally. I think that nationals that I decided to walk away, I literally ran like 24 seconds. And it was it was a dumb move. I remember arguing with the officials, because you don't have the 200 meter scratches down sometimes at nationals.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 16 people, like it should have went to straight semis.
Yeah.
And it didn't. Like everybody should go, but they still eliminated one just to justify it. And so I was eliminated. I ran 24 seconds. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm tired. The fact that I'm like, to run something, last time I ran it was in high school as a professional.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm tired. Let's just pack it up. And like I said, mentally, I wasn't in good space. I tried some different things and tried different coaches. And I was like, let's just shut it down. Right. Yeah. Let's go back, pack it up, went back to Chi-Town, got myself grounded, went back home, went to the fitness business. Well, worked for a gym. I wasn't training by myself at the time, and kind of nailed it back down and said, hey, I'm living this life. I get to party and do all the things that I couldn't do, although we did it pretty hard at Penn State, but do some of the things that normal 20-something year olds, you know what I'm saying, date and be real responsible and make bad choices, and I always think about training and traveling. Well, my one of my best friends, she ended that for me real quick, because when Chicago was trying to get the 2016 games, which is crazy, that's now 2022, and that was a thing. But April Holmes traveled. We did a lot of events and things together, so. She came to one of my fitness class. I taught turbo kick. I was a fitness instructor. For those that don't know, I was the person bouncing around and all 1 more and 2. No, actually, I was kind of a badass. I destroyed people. But she took one of my
destroy you.
He's like, I did. My mission was to destroy. But she took one of the classes, and she was like, "So tell me again why you're not running." And I was like, "Because I hate it." And to give respects to him, John Drummond had the same conversation with me when I did a track clinic with him. He's like, "Why aren't you running?" And I was like, "Because I hate it." And he was like, "Well, maybe you should think about coming coaching and training." I was like, "I'm sorry, you're John Drummond, and I know I can't afford you as a coach, so we don't need to continue this conversation." Right? But he was consistent, persistent, and I was just like, I'm just not ready for the sport. But then when April started talking to me, she like, between your footwork and your cardio, she was like, "You're teaching and talking and doing, and that's not normal." I was like, "Well, it's normal to me." Well, unknown to myself, April, if Shayna, you met April, so you know her personality. You don't just April Holmes is a Paralympic gold medalist. She was the first lady of the Jordan brand. So when she doesn't ask questions. After a certain point, she just does. So next thing I know, she said, "Well, I had a conversation with Al." I said, "Oh, okay. I'll think about having a conversation with Al Joyner." And she was like, "Well, no, you don't understand. I had a conversation with Al. He just needs to know when you're coming."
It's already been done.
I was like, "When am I coming? When am I coming? Where?
Where am I going?"
Yeah. I was like, "We're taking a trip. We just got back from Copenhagen."
Oh my gosh.
No, to Olympic Training Center. He's going to coach you, and you're going to be my training partner. I'm sorry. Where was I in this discussion? She's like, "You weren't."
You weren't.
And that was, So in that case, she said what she said.
And that worked. Look how that worked out for you.
Yeah,
it did. And I was like, let me tell y'all something. When I tell you I was so terrified of my first track meet, I was like, I'm about to run ass backwards. My first race was 400 meters. I was like, I'm going to die. Y'all know how I felt about that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't been in spikes, and it was horrible. I think I ran like 56 or something like that. I was like, why in the hell did I come back?
After taking 3 years off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
very
good.
Yeah, that would be good. It's 3 years out of college for me. That would be like, oh boy, my back.
Well, I thought I'm trying to I was like, no, this ain't it. But I'm already in South Carolina, San Diego at this point. So I might as well keep going. No sponsor, no nothing. But was it 6-7 months later? Like literally, and I had a conversation with April. She was like, "You literally have nothing to lose when you step on the line." Like, and I was upset because I got 9th or 10th in 100. I just missed the final, 100-meter final. And I was upset, and she was like, "Okay, upset after 3 years, and all of a sudden you're 10th in the country. Yeah, that's something to be upset about."
True story.
But then the 200, I was
the,
like,
the 100 isn't even your best event, unless you're really your 200 runner.
Yeah, and I was just like, well, I ain't got nothing to lose. The 200-meter prelim, I was actually sick, so I was happy they canceled it. Like, my blood sugar was low, my skin was gray, I was fatigued, so but they scratched that round, so I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. But I remember John Smith saying to me during the warm-up, he was like, "You look good," and I was like, "Thanks." He's like, "No, but like seriously, like you look good." I'm like, "Are we hitting on me, John Smith?" John Smith really didn't hit on me, by the way. Just I don't want anybody putting rumors out there.
No rumors, but
but beforehand, I asked Michael Johnson. I know it sounds like I'm annoying myself because it sounds like I'm name dropping. So
no, I love it.
But
I love it. I was like, because you're just throwbacking like every major coach name, like for non-track heads, she's naming like
she's
the
naming
Michael
names.
Jordans of coaching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The sport, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Johnson was the guy. Everybody knows Michael Johnson and Gold Spikes, so like, let's be real. But he was involved a lot with the 2016 campaign. So me and him talked a lot. And I asked him, I said, what advice do you have? I said, I've been out the game for 3 years. And I don't remember how to do this. He's like, 1, have fun. 2, make it sexy. I said, what? He said, make it sexy. He was like, I said, I can do that. So I literally took my hair out of a ponytail, put my headband on with the shades. That's why like my hair was down. And I talked to Hazel in the stands like, yo, sis, we gonna go to dinner after this or whatever. I said to her in the stand. She's like, girl, you about to run. This was before the 200-meter final.
Oh my God.
At nationals. And I was like, all right, sis, I'll talk to you after the race. And the rest was
history.
And that was that. So I was kind of in disbelief. I was like, how are you gonna be retired for 3 years and come back around 22?
That must have felt really good though.
Yeah. It did. It was all I needed at that point. At that point after that, I was like, I really can't retire. Because I felt like I did something that I knew I've been capable of doing without all the bullshit. You know, that when I was free and light and had no worries. April lent me a pair of her Jordan spikes, so I felt real fancy.
Oh wow.
I know, I felt really fancy. Like, oh my gosh. And that was a process to get that approved.
Really? Oh, because you're not. Oh,
I wasn't a Jordan athlete. So to run those spikes, it was like, okay. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I'm glad I did them some justice because they wouldn't have went well.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my God. When you said the hair down.
Love it.
With white socks. Let me tell you, people, what you don't do ever in black spikes and black shoes wear white socks.
Hey.
That's it. I think those shorts came from Walmart, those glasses.
What about that top?
I think that top, that was
cute as hell.
Cute. You know what's really cute are those abs. So please,
those abs are very cute.
Those abs though. God damn,
I just have one ab. That's all I need.
One of those. I just want one of those. That would be great.
I just need one ab. That's all I'm asking
let's
for.
Let's talk about that. That's what I'm working on now.
Cause ripped.
Man,
you were ripped.
You were.
It's like let's talk about that. Let's talk about those abs.
More ripped than I have ever been on my best day. I love it.
Shit.
That's why I keep looking at those pictures. Like, are you living those days? I said, yes, I'm living in the abs. In the abs. I wasn't drinking wine then. I'm a professional wine connoisseur.
I know.
What is it? Wine. Let's wine together.
Let's wine about it.
Let's wine about it. Yep. Love it.
Let's wine about it.
Thought-provoking questions.
Oh yeah, I like to start trouble on Facebook.
I like it.
I love it.
Some people hate me. It was like, why are you so? I was like, I don't know. I just take a question. I was like, let's throw it out there and see what happens. See how they respond. People are still arguing with me over it. Are you not going to answer me? No, I'm not.
No.
I want you to answer yourself right now. That's what I want to do. But this is so fun, though.
I know. Well, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now because you're still, you mentioned it a little bit, but you're still in the fitness industry working with airmen. Talk about how you got into that because that's such a cool thing.
So it really is a cool thing. I got into it on accident. The abbreviated version, I was working with Brooks Johnson. Again, I feel like I'm name dropping, but
it's okay.
Like that's
I respect
throwback. Legendary status, by the way, like throwback legendary, like Brooks Johnson. So, but I went to go help him with this clinic that he did for the military. He's like, I need you to come and demonstrate some drills. And he's like, I know you quit running on me with your punk ass. Brooks cuss a lot.
That's how he talks, too. That's how he talks.
Yeah, like cuss everybody out. So I said, all right, coach, I'll come. He's like, oh, they're going to give you $600 too. What? For what? To demonstrate some drills? I will be there. Did he want me there tomorrow for another 600?
Right, exactly.
But I went and demonstrating the drills. It was great. Went the next day. Well, it was for Special Forces group, and they were getting ready to compete at this event called the Warrior Games, and they asked Brooks to do this event, and he said no, but Consuelo. That's what he gave it back to me because that's what he called me. That was my nickname. He said, call Consuelo and ask her. She'll do it. And he literally told me, he's like, you're going to go do this thing out in Colorado Springs before they even called me. And I said, okay. And that's how it started. So I was the track coach for the Special Forces for ill and injured for Special Operations Command is his technical term. And I was doing that for about 4 years until I did Invictus. I know everybody started Invictus games with Prince Harry initiative he started. And Team US at the team. Oh,
BTW, look who just popped in, Dominique.
Hey, Dom.
Hey, Blake. Here's your game.
Hey, Blake. Bang, bang, my PSU gang.
Hey, Haley, right? Shoot. Talk about another Olympian.
I know.
Don't worry, Dominique. Your time on here is coming soon.
Yeah, we're coming to get you soon.
But yeah, so let's talk about Invictus Games.
So I worked that as a track coach, and luckily it was in Orlando. And I'm like running to the scoreboard, trying to get marks and warming athletes up and doing all of the different things. And this very personable lady was sitting behind me, and she was like, "Coach, you are moving." I said, "Listen, I got work to do." She's like, "Sit down for a second." I was like, "I really ain't got time to sit down. I'll talk with you, but I can't sit down because I got to get the results and I got to get athletes warmed up." Well, it turned out that she was our team manager. Her name is Marcia Strauderman. She's the branch chief of the Wounded Warrior program for Air Force, but she was also team manager for Team US. So technically, she was my boss. She was the person that everybody went back to report to. Now, if no one knows me, I am not someone you want to leave unsupervised talking to people. So I'll just say it like that. So the contractor that brought me on as track coach, she saw that I was having conversations back and forth with Marcia. Again, I had no idea who Marcia was, what she did. She just gave me these cool glasses to put on, and she was like my personal cheerleader. I thought she was awesome. And so she was like, "You were talking to Marcia." I was like, "Who the fuck is Marcia?" She was like, "The boss of who? Of this?
You.
Of oh. I said, "Oh, what the duck?" Oh. I was talking to her. She's like, "What did you do?" I said, "I really don't know."
What did you say?
I was like, "I don't know." I said some of everything, like any truth. Like it was a lot of truth that I stated to her.
Yep.
Okay.
All laughter. So I'm just like, yeah. So if I'm never invited back to another Invictus Games, I know why. Because, but the crazy part, I wouldn't have taken anything back from what I said. It's like I said what I said. She said what she said.
She said what she said.
So, but a few weeks later, I got a phone call saying, "Do you want to come work for Air Force?" And I was like, "What?" And Callie, she said, "Well, whatever impression you made on Marcia, she literally sent me to go get you." I was like, "Huh? No, but thank you. I want to stay with SOCOM for another year." But then the next year, I went to go do an event for Air Force as a sub-in because they didn't have a track coach at the time. And then Marcia literally yelled at me, "Give me a number. Make it happen." She wanted to make it happen. So there I went. So I thought I was going in just to be, to be a track coach. I don't say just, but to be a track coach. But she's like, "Nope, not the vision I have for you. I did not recruit you just for you to coach track." She's like, "This is what I want." So she named all the things that she wanted done. She wanted a lot of more connections with the Warriors, a lot more person-to-person contact, development of a high performance program. And she's like, you're my girl. That's what I want." I said, "Oh, okay." So it just developed, and I've been with them now since 2017, so 5 years. It's pretty dope. We're getting ready for our Air Force trials in San Antonio. That's when they try out for the Warrior Games.
Okay.
And then we travel over to the Netherlands to compete at the Invictus Games in The Hague.
Okay.
I'm the head coach for Team US for that.
Oh,
I don't know why
wow.
they keep putting me in front of these things.
Wow.
Of course they do.
Terrible. Yeah, that's a bad idea. Tell the athletes that. They're just like, you're the worst on the planet. We can't stand you. But it's fulfilling because, you know, I've worked with a lot of different athletes. I worked with the football players over at Disney.
Yeah.
I worked with Saquon Barkley.
I saw that.
Yep.
And all those things, right? But it hits something different working with those who, I tell people, I serve those that serve us, right? And they're coming back for some really traumatic situations, anything from cancer to visually impaired, amputees, massive sexual trauma, TBIs, like all types of things they're trying to recover from, invisible and visible wounds. But the level of determination and tenacity that these athletes have, that these warriors have, that's what we call them on the Air Force side, is unlike anything I've ever seen. You know, people who said you can't walk again, I've seen them run. Like literally, like run. People who weren't supposed to live, you got 3 years and they're still up and kicking and pushing through. So it's something that hits a different space, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
Regardless of what I do, I it sounds like I would always continue to come back. So I work with quite a few of them. There's 65 on the Team US roster, and we have tens of thousands locked in for Team Air Force that we are constantly pulling from. So it's going to be fun. So Warrior Games is happening again here in Orlando at the House of Mouse the last week of August. And if anybody's in the San Antonio area, that's where we'll be on our Air Force trials. And then if you're over the water, we'll be in The Hague.
That is awesome.
In April. So that's a lot of that. So, and then of course the bad bitch is blowing up. Club Boss, Board of Supportive Sisters. It's an initiative to help empower women through the art of sisterhood. So we bounce ideas, help each other grow, help each other glow, and just bring out the bad bitch.
Say that for us one more time. What?
Please,
Board of Supportive Sisters, Club Boss.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the initiative to help empower women.
Sisters. Okay.
Yeah, that's what boss is. Board of Supportive Sisters. Some people's like, why you got to be a boss? I'm like, the Board of Supportive Sisters.
Yeah.
That's what boss is. So we get together once a week, powwow it out. What are you trying to do with your life? What are your goals? Where you at? And then we give the ideas back. I'm looking for OG bosses. So if you are an expert in your field, reach out to me, let me know so you can possibly be a mentor and then we can promote your business. Or if you want confidence coaching in that nature, you can also hit me up and let me know. So yeah, I guess I do a lot of shit.
It was a lot of things. No, yeah, I love it. I love it. And you also work out a lot as well.
That's new.
Yes,
CrossFit is
you
new.
do.
Yeah, tell us a little bit.
Yeah.
I know I was like, okay, honey, I see you
throwing weights.
CrossFit is new. I was anti-CrossFit back in the day because I'm like, this is shit you did for track, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, who does this on purpose and for fun? Like, this is not fun. Power cleaning and squatting and over and over again on repeat. Then you throw in a running. I was like, this is stupid. I'm like, you're gonna hurt yourself. Like, certain things you aren't meant to do 100 times. Clean and jerk is one of them. Like, you're not meant to do that. Like over and over again. But when my brother got involved with it, and I was like, and he can't squat, he can't do like a whole lot of different things. But when I saw his progress, and it's this particular box or gym, I was like, you know what, let me go check it out and see what you're all about, right? And the place is called Soldier City Fitness in St. Cloud, Florida. And the coach there, despite not knowing anything about me, any other CrossFit gym that I walk into, they was like, oh, she's strong, let's just put her on her bar. No, nothing but lifting. You know what, Clemson?
For her life.
Every place she has is for her life.
I know.
But he put a PVC pipe in my hand. I said, this is kind of disrespectful. Like, you give me a PVC pipe? Like, that's nice. Okay. But he broke me down. He was like, I need to see how you move before I load you up with weight. I need to see how you move before I have you do all this.
Absolutely.
And I looked at him like, okay, you might know a thing or two. I used to be a trainer, and that was the life that I lived, and I'm all about technique and form. So he
Especially if you're
broke that
throwing
stuff down.
away. Yep.
Yeah, throwing the weight around, and he wouldn't let me load up heavy or anything for a while. So all the people was talking shit, saying your ankle stability is trash, and this you should have saw it like a little while ago because it was horrible. But the fact that Andrew took his time to build me up to finally, it's like, okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and stick my foot in a little CrossFit Open. So my goal, to say it out loud, is that I want to compete in a year, like compete in CrossFit, like going to the CrossFit Games, Nationals, World Championships, whatever the hell that shit is. So hopefully without hurting myself or doing anything crazy, because I still can't do muscle ups.
Yeah,
there's a lot of upper body stuff.
You did so did you just do a mini competition at your gym last week?
I did. It was terrible.
I say you did great.
Fucking awful. It was awful. It was because it's so technical, right? So anyone who's done CrossFit and I've talked shit about you, I apologize. Because it's the competition piece is different. It was just a little piece of tape that was throwing me off. Handstand walks I learned the night before the competition. But because I couldn't get the palm of my hand to that tape, and I was completely flat against the wall, it didn't count. No rep.
Oh wow.
No rep. I was like,
wow.
It's like, it's all right. So I'm hoping this week is something a little more Connie friendly, like throwing heavy weights around. So we'll see how that goes.
You have another competition this weekend?
Yeah, it's called Friday Night Lights. They do it every Friday.
Okay.
They announce the workout on Thursdays. And then they tell you what it is. You have no idea what the workout is.
Oh, that's the worst when you have to know about it.
Crazy. I preferred it because this way I can practice the moves. Like I know what I'm doing.
Fair. But there's a certain part of like,
Sherry, you rather just show up.
I don't know, man. Coach Johnson did that to me once where it was like a really hard workout and I had to run by myself. Like I had to come early and he just wasn't talking to me during warm up. I was like, uh-oh. No. He's like on the track and I'm like, what's the workout?
Oh no, I needed to know. I used to come to practice early.
I know. And he goes 800 meters under 220, go. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
used to come to practice early because it was like we need to talk about this. Yeah. Or I would ask him like, so if we finish practice today, I would say, what are we doing tomorrow? I needed to know.
See, I actually, if you had told me when I walked in there that even before that, like I was going to be doing like, I think it was like an 864 or something. And it would be like 220 and I don't know, under like 136, under whatever, you know what I mean? I would have been like, I'm going. So there's a part of it where you just don't know. You just don't have time to react. You just do it. So it's definitely, there's a little.
Connie, you rather
Let me tell you. No, in this case, but it's different, right? So
right.
When you go on a competition on the weekend.
Yeah.
I know I'm running 100, 200, 4x1, possibly 4x4.
Fair.
No questions, right?
Yeah.
This CrossFit competition, they don't tell you what it is until Thursday night.
So but could you not look and just like show up on Friday and do it?
Not possible. First of all, I'm on social media way too much, and I belong to too many workout groups. Too many of my other friends will know it, and like even people. That's the thing with CrossFit, just like track is around the world, right? So people I work with within the Air Force do the competition. Did you see what 22.2 is? That's how the workouts are labeled. The year, point, first workout, second workout, whatever.
Okay.
And they spread it. So as soon as, and if you look it up, it just goes bananas. Like tomorrow, then it's a whole big deal. It's actually marketing genius. That's what CrossFit is.
That is a big thing. Yeah, to get everyone excited for Thursday to see what they're doing on Friday.
Exactly. To
and
die.
It's big on social media. Yeah.
You're getting excited for death. Like they work out with 3 wall walks, 12 dumbbell snatches, alternating dumbbell snatches, and 15 box jumps. Doesn't sound like a whole lot until you add in the fact you have to do this for 15 minutes straight.
Oh, so you're repeating it. Yeah.
So it was just like, what if I do one more wall walk? Like, but it's just a good different way to stay fit, but I'm too competitive not to want to be competitive. So that's my next venture. This year, no, it's not going to happen. I saw what these bad bitches were doing in the 40 plus age group, since I am in that age group now. And I was like, well, let me look. And I never thought I'd do age group, right? So people ask me what I run age group track, and I said never. I refuse. I flipping refuse to do age. I refuse to do masters competition.
Same.
But for CrossFit, I was like, you know what? Let me go and look at that. And when I tell you I was like, I got work to do. I'll just go ahead and put that goal for 2023, and I'll just start now. So put it out there
somewhere. I love it.
I love it. Year.
You know,
so.
My girlfriend Snacks and I, we want to do masters track when we're really old, so we can meet those like old people running
at 100
at Penn Relays, and everyone class now, 4, and you're like,
yeah.
Then I would do it. I would do it for, you know what I'm saying? That I would do. I would do it when I'm like now.
When you're so old, the times don't even matter because you're like just cute. Glad that you could. Yeah, when it's cute.
Yeah,
it's cute.
Like, and you can tell. So, baby, when I used to do this in my day.
And they're like, yeah, okay, grandma, sure.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, Connie, if you want to do a Spartan race, they have a bunch of those in Florida. I could come fly down and run one with you.
So she's like, nah.
Or we can do a bar crawl. You can fly down to Florida and do one of those.
Oh, I like those too. I like that idea a little bit better.
You could do both.
Or just one.
That.
You could do both.
Or just the bar crawl. The idea of running. People try to get me to run all the time. I even hate running in CrossFit. I'm like, son of a... Like, it's just, I don't do it anymore. I don't go for long runs. I
ran 6 miles today. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's
the fun.
You run,
the fun. I do.
You want to run?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I do 5Ks. I haven't, like, in the last year and a half, been a little busy. But, yeah.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. A little busy. I was very pregnant the last time I saw you, I think. And I had I was pregnant and I fell down a hill. Do you remember that? And you were so angry at me. I don't know if you remember this. In front of the Bryce Jordan Center.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was cold that day too.
It was cold.
You were very pregnant.
I was very pregnant.
You're very, very pregnant. You were very pregnant.
It's okay. I saw her when she was very pregnant too, with the other baby.
The other baby, and I was really slow. I was so slow. I was like, Sherry, just leave me. I'm too slow.
I'll never leave you.
I was like, just leave me, Sherry.
We were in a museum in DC. There was
nowhere to go.
We were not in a competition.
I was just like, I couldn't believe how slow I was. I was like, well, how am I walking so slow?
It's okay.
So it's like I've been pregnant for like the last 5 years, I think.
Wow. Thank you for never having kids. So let that be known. I have no desire.
Same Z's.
Wow.
So my ladies, we have been chatting for an hour and 43 minutes. No biggie. Could keep going, but we do need to end this at some point. So at least part 1. So we'll just go straight into our shout outs. Consuela Moore, who would you like to give a shout out to today?
Oh my gosh, man. Y'all. Really? I mean, it's I mean, I could go down the list like, oh, my mom and this, but it's being March, right? It's time to give recognition to the badass women. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere, and to the baddies everywhere. So if you're doing like hot girl shit, bad girl shit, and I say bad bitch, own it, you know, and own that truth and continue to rock out with things. So if you're doing something amazing and just waking up in the morning, it's amazing enough, right? So to all the baddies out there to doing some, like I said, bad bitch shit, that's who I want to give shout out to. The people in my tribe, they know who they are, so we don't have to go down that big long laundry list of people, but it's just the bad bitches everywhere. Continue to be a bad bitch and just own it and rock that shit out loud. Period.
Love it.
Period.
Shayna, who would you like to shout out to?
Who am I going to shout out? My family, who I know is watching. All of Penn State, all my Penn State family, who I love and adore. And my near and dear coach, Chris Johnson, who had an amazing week this week at SEC.
Wow.
Collegiate record in the 4x4. I was a little salty about it, but thankful that it was my coach. But yeah. So yeah, it's been a good week of track this last week. That's all I got.
Fantastic. And I'll end it. Shout out to y'all, man. Without you guys, I would just be sitting here talking to my cat. So yeah, shout out to Penn State Track and Field, Dr. Kristen Clemson, Dominique Blake, man. Our folks in the comments. I know some other folks will be watching later. What up, Penn State Track and Field? And then shout out to my Chicago Clubhouse Podcast Network. Without them, I literally wouldn't be here because I don't do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I'm just a talking head. So there's other people that do that stuff for me. And yeah, and then D-Son over at LEC. And yeah, really and shout out to all my folks that be watching this too. Because hold up, we got one final comment from my baby, this awesome lady.
Thank you. Clem wrote out.
Thanks for watching, Clem.
Clem was here the whole hour 45 minutes.
Yeah, she sure did.
Yeah, and you know, it's Clem. First of all, she's probably afraid of me that I'll beat her up if she doesn't watch it. But no, I won't, Clem. It's okay. You can go to bed. Go to bed, bye. But on that note, we will call it.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production. We out!
Bye.
Did we not need to do commercial?